Everybody's talking about the stoppage, but almost nobody is talking about what really matters. Who was actually winning Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley on the scorecards when the fight ended? Two judges had it very wide, one judge had it a bit closer. So today we're cutting through all that noise and doing what boxing fans deserve. A clean, objective, round-by-round breakdown of the entire fight. And trust me, when you see some of these freeze frames and slow-motion replays, you might be shocked at how differently the reality is compared to the official scorecards. I'll be using the same criteria that judges are supposed to be using. Clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense. No bias, no agendas, just what actually landed and what actually mattered in this fight. Make sure you hit subscribe now because I do full fight breakdowns and analyses like this every week. Round 1, clean punching. In the first round, Fabio Wardley outlands Joseph Parker 15 clean-landed punches to 11. You can see them all listed here. Clean punching, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. Fabio Wardley was throwing faster punches from the back foot while moving slightly backward. Neither had standout sustained effective aggression until Joseph Parker did in the last 30 seconds or so he wins this category. Effective aggression, 10 points to 9, Joseph Parker. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley was looking for opportunities to unleash with his obviously faster punch speed between Joseph Parker's consistent advances, but it was Joseph Parker dictating the action and tone and Wardley punching within it. Ring generalship, 10-9, Joseph Parker. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in round 1 to avoid punches and when they each happened. If we categorize them, I gave a high guard to Wardley, ducking to Parker, bobbing and weaving to Wardley, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking to Parker, footwork to Parker, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.157 points to Fabio Wardley and 9.414 points to Joseph Parker, a 10-9 round in round 1 for Joseph Parker. And unfortunately for this fight, I could not find any of the official scorecards anywhere online, so I can't compare my score to those of the judges at ringside as I usually do. So instead, we're gonna have to move on to round 2, clean punching. And in this round, Fabio Wardley decimates Joseph Parker, 22 clean-landed punches to only 3. You can see them all listed here. Clean punching, 10-7, Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. Joseph Parker was edging effective aggression until his last landed punch at 146, keeping Fabio Wardley wary until he flipped a switch at 137 on the clock and pushed a hard aggressive pace, throwing and landing many punches through the end of the round. Joseph Parker's gum shield came out around 40 seconds, so the ref had to stop the action, retrieve it, and put it back in. I love saying gum shield. Effective aggression, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley controlled action and tone for a little over half the round, but his control was dramatic in comparison to the beginning of the round where Joseph Parker was more in control. Ring generalship, 10-8, Fabio Wardley. And here are all the defensive moves done in round 2 to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave the high guard to Joseph Parker, ducking to Joseph Parker, bobbing and weaving to Fabio Wardley, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking to Joseph Parker, footwork to Joseph Parker, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.629 points to Fabio Wardley and 8.138 points to Joseph Parker, a blowout in round 2 in favor of Fabio Wardley, 10-9. Round 3, clean punching. In this round, it's a little closer. Fabio Wardley lands 11 clean punches to Joseph Parker 7. Clean punching, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. This category is tough to judge since Joseph Parker was coming cautiously forward more consistently, but was usually looking for counterpunches, whereas Fabio Wardley was alternating between moving away from Joseph Parker's power and exploding with his own aggressive bursts. Who was more effective? The guy who kept the other guy from consistently coming forward, or the guy who consistently alternated the pace and landed more clean punches? I say Wardley. Parker was waiting too much for most of the round, while Wardley was punching aggressively more often. Effective aggression, 9.5 points Wardley, 9 points Parker. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley controlled the action via his switching between staying away and initiating aggressive offense, but I think he was staying away because Joseph Parker was setting a menacing tone where there was some trepidation over his potential power. Ring generalship, 9.5 points to both fighters. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in round 3 to avoid punches and when they happen. If we categorize them, I gave the high guard to Joseph Parker, ducking to Joseph Parker, bobbing and weaving to Fabio Wardley, parrying to Joseph Parker, blocking 8 points to both fighters, footwork to Joseph Parker, and clinching to Fabio Wardley. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.379 points to Fabio Wardley and 9.031 points to Joseph Parker, a 10-9 round in round 3 to Fabio Wardley. And my running score now in the fight is 29-28 Fabio Wardley after 3. Round 4, clean punching. In this round, Fabio Wardley outlands Joseph Parker badly 11 clean punches to 5. You can see them all listed here. Clean punching, 10-8, Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. Fabio Wardley stood his ground more in the first minute and seemed to be tiring from the previous round's tactics, so perhaps this is a strategic change. However, Joseph Parker was advancing forward and throwing hard punches when he closed the distance, whereas Fabio Wardley was moving backward, although more subtly than in the last round. They had a multi-punch exchange around 1 minute and Joseph Parker got the better of that effective aggression. Joseph Parker was more threatening and Fabio Wardley was more trying to use timed precision. Effective aggression, 10-9 Joseph Parker. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley was working within the forward creeping, threatening tone that Joseph Parker was setting, but Fabio Wardley was able to initiate action throughout the round from any distance, while Joseph Parker was typically only able to initiate action on the few occasions when he closed distance. When Parker initiated the skirmish around 1 minute, Wardley gave it right back to him, showing adaptability, but he also stood less toe-to-toe as the round progressed, which means Parker controlled more of the tone. Ring generalship, 9.5 points to both fighters. And here are all the defensive moves done in round 4 to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave the high guard to Parker, ducking to Parker, bobbing and weaving to Wardley, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking 8 points to both fighters, footwork to Parker, and clinching to Wardley. Overall, the defensive round, exactly the same score to both fighters here, 8.429. But taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.302 points to Fabio Wardley and 8.969 points to Joseph Parker in round 4. It's 10-9 to Fabio Wardley. And after 4 rounds, I now have the fight 39-37, Fabio Wardley. Round 5, clean punching. In this round, Fabio Wardley lands 11 clean punches and Joseph Parker finally outdoes him with 16 clean-landed punches. You can see them all listed here on your screen. Clean punching, 10-9, Joseph Parker. Effective aggression. At 1:50 on the clock, a left uppercut to the body by Wardley looked low. I'd give a soft warning for that one. Neither fighter was super aggressive. They were both calculated, but Joseph Parker was more effective with his aggression, while Fabio Wardley was wild at times, especially in the first minute. Effective aggression, 9.5 Joseph Parker, 8.5 for Fabio Wardley. Ring generalship. Joseph Parker kept Fabio Wardley hesitating for maybe 2/3 of this round through his tone control. Fabio Wardley tried to initiate action, but Joseph Parker punished him for it and seemed to discourage him. Ring generalship, 9.5 points for Joseph Parker, 8.5 points to Fabio Wardley. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave 8 points to both fighters for high guard, 9 points to both fighters for ducking, bobbing and weaving went to Wardley, parrying to Wardley, blocking to Wardley, footwork to Wardley, and clinching to Wardley. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.693 points to Fabio Wardley and 9.350 points to Joseph Parker, a 10-9 round in round 5 for Joseph Parker. And I now have the fight 48-47 Fabio Wardley after 5. Round 6, clean punching. In round 6, Joseph Parker outdoes Fabio Wardley in a big way, 11 clean-landed punches to 4. You can see them all listed on your screen here. Clean punching, 10-8, Joseph Parker. Effective aggression. Wardley with a right to the back in the clinch, I'd give a soft warning for that one. Joseph Parker was the more confident and effective aggressor. He attacked hard and with combinations when he was able to close distance. Fabio Wardley threw mostly single punches from distance, but was often countered with hard stuff from Parker, which made Wardley more hesitant to come inside. Effective aggression, 9.5 points to Joseph Parker, 8.5 points to Fabio Wardley. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley controlled the action by staying at distance to make Parker advance into position slowly and clinching multiple times to slow Joseph Parker down. But Joseph Parker certainly controlled the tone with his powerful aggressive combos when he did close the distance. Ring generalship, 9.5 points to both fighters. Let's talk defense for round 6, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave the high guard to Joseph Parker, ducking to Fabio Wardley, bobbing and weaving to Parker, parrying to Parker, blocking to Parker, footwork to Parker, and clinching to Wardley. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.569 points to Fabio Wardley and 9.521 points to Joseph Parker, a 10-9 round in round 6 for Joseph Parker. And I now have the fight a draw, 57-57 after 6 rounds. Round 7, clean punching. In this round, Fabio Wardley lands 17 clean-landed punches and Joseph Parker lands 13. Again, you can see them all listed on your screen here. Clean punching, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. At 1:07 on the clock, Joe Parker had a right to the back in the clinch. I'd give a soft warning there. Both fighters were measured in their aggression, with Fabio Wardley throwing long punches from a medium to long distance that he varied throughout the round, and Joseph Parker bull rushing him from time to time. Effective aggression, 9 points for Joseph Parker and 9.5 points for Fabio Wardley. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley controlled the action by controlling the distance. He kept the fight at the middle to long distance and used clinches to stop Joseph Parker's momentum when he rushed forward. Then Fabio Wardley outworked Joseph Parker in those clinches, especially the last one. Ring generalship, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in round 7 to avoid punches and when they happen. If we categorize them, I gave 9 points to both fighters for high guard, ducking to Fabio Wardley, bobbing and weaving to Fabio Wardley, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking 9 points to both fighters, footwork 9 points to both fighters, and clinching to Fabio Wardley. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together in round 7, the algorithm gave 9.667 points to Fabio Wardley, a great score there, to only 8.886 points to Joseph Parker, an easy 10-9 round in round 7 for Fabio Wardley. And I now have the fight 67-66 with Fabio Wardley leading by 1 point after 7. Round 8, clean punching. In this round, it was very close. Fabio Wardley lands 13 clean punches that I saw to Joseph Parker's 11. I've listed them all here. Clean punching, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. Fabio Wardley landed some good, carefully thrown punches from distance while trying to avoid return fire, but Joseph Parker certainly used aggression to make him retreat more dramatically than vice versa, and to close the distance to land some precise punches like that beauty to the body near the end of the round. Effective aggression, 10-9, Joseph Parker. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker took turns controlling action and tone throughout the round. They score equally in this category, and therefore, I gave 9 points to both fighters. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in round 8 to avoid punches and when they happened. If you categorize them, high guard was 7 points to both fighters, ducking went to Wardley, bobbing to Parker, parrying to Wardley, blocking to Parker, footwork 9 points to both fighters, and clinching 9-8, Fabio Wardley. We take the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.157 points to Fabio Wardley and 9.095 points to Joseph Parker. A razor-thin round, the closest one in the fight so far, 10-9, Fabio Wardley. And I now have the fight 77-75, Fabio Wardley. Round 9, clean punching. In this round, Joseph Parker outlands Fabio Wardley badly. 22 clean-landed punches to 13. You can see them all listed on your screen here. Clean punching, 10-9, Joseph Parker. Effective aggression. Fabio Wardley's doing a lot of ducking from a punch and then clinching, showing that he's tired. But does that mean he's not effectively aggressive? Yes, it does. Joseph Parker's aggressive barrage between 1:13 and 57 seconds left on the clock when Wardley clinched to slow him down was substantially more effective than anything that tired Wardley did, including his brief aggressive burst toward the end of the round. Effective aggression, 10-8, Joseph Parker. Ring generalship. Joseph Parker had his highest punch output in this round and has seemed to be ramping up more and more as the rounds progressed, pushing the action and aggressive tone much more in this round as Wardley was tired and trying to stay away long enough to get into position and land single shots from distance. Parker just overwhelmed him multiple times. Ring generalship, 10 points to Parker, 8.5 to Fabio Wardley. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in round 9 to avoid punches and when they happened. If you categorize them, I gave the high guard to Wardley, ducking to Wardley, bobbing and weaving to Parker, parrying to Parker, blocking to Parker, footwork to Parker, and clinching to Wardley. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, it was a blowout in round 9, 8.560 points to Fabio Wardley to 9.714 points to Joseph Parker. This round goes to Joseph Parker, 10-9. And I now have the fight 86-85, Fabio Wardley by 1 point. Round 10, clean punching. In this round, I saw both fighters land exactly the same number of punches, 22. You can see each one of them listed here if you're interested. Clean punching, 10 points to both fighters. Effective aggression. At 1:45 on the clock, Joseph Parker clashes teeth with Fabio Wardley's head while rushing in. That was strange. Fabio Wardley with a headbutt at less than 10 seconds remaining during his out-of-control flurry after wobbling Joseph Parker with the right uppercut. I'd give a soft warning there. It was an adrenaline rush, not intentional, I think. Both fighters were effectively aggressive throughout the round, with Fabio Wardley dispensing with the staying away that he had done earlier. Joseph Parker edged ahead in the last 40 seconds, but then Fabio Wardley wobbled him and had that sustained aggressive outburst in the last 15 seconds, although many of those punches did miss. Effective aggression, 10 points to 9.5 in favor of Fabio Wardley. Ring generalship. Both Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley controlled action and tone in the ways they wanted until the tone changed in Parker's favor at 43 seconds remaining and to Wardley's favor at 15 seconds remaining. Wardley went nuts in those 15 seconds, but after he wobbled Parker, Parker was certainly in survival mode but made Wardley miss many shots. So who had their way? Fabio Wardley, who wobbled Parker, or Parker, who made him miss so many shots and actually did survive? Well, I say both. 10 points to both fighters for ring generalship. Certainly Fabio Wardley would have wanted to land many more of those punches during that last 15-second flurry, and Parker just didn't let him with amazing defense and survival instincts. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave high guard to Parker, ducking to Parker, bobbing and weaving to Parker, parrying 8 points to both fighters, blocking to Parker, footwork to Parker, and clinching 9 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.657 points to Fabio Wardley and 9.724 points to Joseph Parker. Another razor-thin round in round 10, but my algorithm is giving it to Joseph Parker, 10-9. And now the time has finally arrived, the time you've all been waiting for, the time that we decide who was really winning Parker versus Wardley before the stoppage. And the answer is, it was a draw, 95-95 after 10 rounds. So of course that begs the question, do we also judge the round that the stoppage happened in, round 11, since so many people thought the stoppage was premature? Hey, for giggles, let's do it. Round 11, clean punching. In this round, Joseph Parker was decimated. 24 clean-landed punches for Fabio Wardley to 3 for Joseph Parker. Clean punching, 10-7 Fabio Wardley. Effective aggression. Fabio Wardley dominated effective aggression this round, with Joseph Parker not landing any punches after 2:08 on the clock. Effective aggression, 10-8 Fabio Wardley. Ring generalship. Fabio Wardley commanded action and tone throughout the round until the stoppage. Although the stoppage was badly timed in my opinion, since the last 3 punches missed by Wardley, he was dominating the round in every facet except defense because he didn't have to do much of it. Ring generalship, 10-8 Fabio Wardley. Let's talk defense. Very blank looking for Fabio Wardley, who was on offense the whole round long. High guard goes to Parker, ducking goes to Parker, bobbing and weaving to Parker, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking to Parker, footwork to Parker, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. Give Parker credit, his defense was incredible. He got hit with some good stuff, but he made Wardley miss a lot of stuff as well. So if we were to take the partial round 11 score, the algorithm would have given it to Fabio Wardley 9.429 to 7.871, an utter blowout in Fabio Wardley's favor, 10-9. So to the question of if the stoppage never happened and the fight continued, how would the scoring be? Fabio Wardley would be up 105-104 in this fight going into the 12th. But wait a minute, you say. You usually tell us which rounds were close and probably could have gone the other way. I do, and I will. Here we are. Here's all the rounds. So the closest rounds were rounds 8 and round 10. Round 8 went to Fabio Wardley on my card, and round 10 went to Joseph Parker on my card. So even if those went the other way, it would balance out. The score would be the same. The judges at ringside, funny enough, had it 98-92 for Joseph Parker 2 times, and then 96-94 Joseph Parker with the third judge. I feel like they were way off. I had this a very close fight. As I said, a draw after 10. I think Fabio Wardley was doing a lot of stuff they weren't giving him credit for in this fight, unfortunately. Having a look at the bottom of the screen, we have some interesting statistics. The maximum number of punches landed in any round by Fabio Wardley, 24, by Joseph Parker, 22. The minimum, 4 by Wardley, 3 in one of the rounds by Joseph Parker. Average punches per round, 15 for Wardley, 11 for Parker. And the total punches landed that I could see, 163 for Fabio Wardley, 124 for Joseph Parker. I had my buddies from AM/PM Sewer and Drain Cleaning out of Hawthorne, New Jersey over today doing some plumbing work at my house, and they noticed some of the Who Really Won gear laying around, and they really got a kick out of it, and seems like they really liked it and are going to grab them some. So if you guys want to support the channel, that's one way you can do it in a classy way where you can look cool doing it. Check out the link on your screen here to get your Who Really Won gear. I appreciate it more than you know. And drop a comment below, let me know what you thought of the scoring in this fight and how you had it going into the 11th. And if you love detailed scoring breakdowns like this that use the real rules of boxing, make sure to subscribe now so you don't miss the next one. I drop a new one every week. And finally, have a look at your screen now. There's 2 links appearing. One of them is to another detailed Who Really Won breakdown, and another one is to my scoring algorithm explained so you can learn to score like a pro. Thanks again, and we'll see you again next time.